What's up, YouTube? It's Taylor again. Just wanted to post a little quick update here showing off the idea for the new planets in the gearbox. So the new gearboxes haven't failed yet. They're doing pretty well, but I'm still anticipating a failure. So I redesigned them into a two-stage just to change the gear ratio before I actually took apart the other ones and saw that it was the pins that failed. So I went ahead and printed 4 units and got them up and running as designed, but in parallel I ordered these metal pins from McMaster. So they're a 10mm pin. These ones are 22mm long. I think I'm going to go to a 24mm long pin, but let me show you a little bit what this is for here. So in the failed gearbox, this is from a failed gearbox, and so is this. These pins wore out. This one did pretty well. Some of them sheared off completely. A lot of them just wore out completely. But this was the general idea for the gearbox, and still using the plastic pins in the current version of Rover that's doing a lot better. I have more footage of that being edited. But the idea is you have the 4 planets around here. They engage in the gears, the teeth on the ring gear, and as they crawl along, they have a gear ratio, and they get this to rotate. But these pins keep, well, on the first version of Rover V2, the gearboxes all totally wore out, and these pins were the failure. The teeth were totally fine, the spline is fine, and these holes were wearing as well. So I didn't use any lubricant in that system, and the new one is full of lubricant, and that might be enough. But I'd really like to have 20 kilometers of service life on these gearboxes, and so in order to improve the situation, I got these hardened steel pins. A 10-pack is $8 from McMaster, and you could get them much cheaper if you were to try to source them somewhere else. But you need 16 to do the output stages on Rover. I'm not sure if both stages need this or if it's just the output. The output experiences more torque. But then I have a carrier here. This is the output carrier, and it printed oddly. The slicer actually showed this. I didn't bother to figure out why, but you can see here that just slips in, and this, too close. This is much smoother. Now there's some other issues with my gearbox design. So one of them is the friction of this rubbing against that. And I've noticed that my gearboxes draw, well, when they were brand new, they were drawing almost 20 watts at full up, just operating with no load. And I don't know if they've worn in. I haven't done another measurement since. But the planets were just floating on the single stage version. I think that was fine, but there's a lot more friction surfaces in the 2-stage. So I might make a version where there's actually a pair of washers in between here, so that rests like that, and the washers can act as a bearing. But yeah, so this was the old planet, and then this one has a shorter pin. So this is the kind of the one I'm going with, and it looks to me like this is going to be way better, because these pins don't print well. They're not very round. Whereas the gear teeth here look pretty flawless to me. So this is printing really nicely. Here's a version without the pin installed. So I have a small hole so that you can poke out the pin if you have trouble. And you can see on this one, the bottom's really flattened. My print head is close to the print bed, and it makes the parts stick reliably, which I really like, but it does mean that I have to come in to every tooth with a file and rub it like that, and it's kind of a significant part of the installation operation. So on this one I did that, and you can see now that the gear teeth look fine, and they seem to work really well, but this manual operation is time consuming and kind of hurts my fingers. If you adjusted your print height and got your printer working well, you wouldn't have that issue, but I like to, well, maybe I should change it a little bit. Anyway, this is the little update on this. So I'm going to keep running Rover and see if and how the gearboxes fail. I might get bored of it and install one of these just to see how it behaves. Well, 4 of these, and make up one gearbox that has the new output plate like this. So Yep, that's just a small progress update on the improving the reliability of the gearboxes on Rover.